thought I'd put this together for the parent meeting in case can't make it Tuesday night. I know we're still pretty much early into the season and summer is still going on and people are busy. So I thought I'd put this together. Some of you've been to a few of them already, and maybe for those that, like I said, can't make it, I'll put the information in this video, what I'm going to say there. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at the at my email address. The philosophy for the Sporter program, really what I'm looking for is to give the student athletes a really a positive experience in high school, and that's pretty much the really what it's all about. To have an experience they can look back on in a number of years, and with some fond memories. It's always interesting here from former athletes that that are still running, or they'll contact me. They're coaching somewhere, and it's funny, they never mention wins or losses or times. It's just things that I never thought of during the course of the season that they still remember. And many of these former athletes, as I mentioned, still keep in contact with me. As far as practice goes, really only got another 3 or 4 days left for the summer practice schedule. But we'll be going after school from about 2:45 to 4:15ish once the season gets going underway. And after the first couple of weeks of school, we'll probably remain at school most of the time. I'm going to try to get a bus occasionally to go over to Riverside Park for practice. If we have a half day in school, I know there's one coming up, I think the 31st. The kids will be on their own for that half day. I believe we've got a faculty meeting that day, so they'll have their work out for the day to get that done. School closings, in the fall, we really don't run into that too much. As far as transportation, I did send some material out earlier last week with the schedule, and some of the closer meets like Riverside, we don't run till 4:45, the girls this year, and so the athletes can, hopefully the athletes can get there, and if they can't, they get a hold of me and we can figure something out. But many of these closer meets, they'll provide their own transportation on that. I think we've got one at Cedar Springs on a Saturday, again, not very far away. So I did send that list out with that whole tentative schedule on there. If you want days that we do bus, if you want your athlete to ride home with you, I did give out the forms, sent them out via email, and also I handed them out at practice today. Let's see. Athletes can only be released to an adult. Students can't drive other students. As far as behavioral expectations, back in my younger days, I think I had like 4 or 5 pages of rules and regulations, and went to this coaching clinic, and I believe it was a coach from Utah, and we were talking about rules, and he goes, really, the big thing is obey the school policy handbook, treat others as you would like to be treated, respect yourself, respect your teammates, respect your opponents and the officials. And he goes, a lot of that other stuff, the more you put in, the more you got to worry about. Treat them like young adults, and hopefully you won't be surprised. And I kind of took that to heart, and really that's kind of where I'm at. My biggest thing is, show up to practice, do your best. And I know things come up during the course of the season, after school or whatever. If you can't make a practice, I'm in school. Just stop up and see me, or shoot me off an email and let me know what's going on there. Especially with we have advisory period, 3 45-minute periods now. So a lot of the academic stuff can be taken care of during school and not after school. Let's see. Again, we'll follow all the policies in the school handbook, which covers all that behavioral issues. Dress guidelines. They have a team has uniform. As far as warm-ups, something with CP on it would be sufficient on there. Again, I hit a little bit on the individual team rules. Really, cross country, it does have its team aspect of it, but also the individual aspect of it. I did send out a thing a while ago asking for individual goals, and they're wide and varied. there's some athletes that are looking to finish top 5 at the state, and other athletes are running cross country to really to get in shape for other sports, and you have everything in between there. And so that's the nice thing about cross. The individual goals are also important, and really as a coach, it's my duty is to try to get those people to reach their goals. And that is where the whole idea of showing up to practice, like with any sport, like with anything in life, you got to put the time, a little bit of commitment in there if you really want to reach your goals. Let's see. Award criteria: varsity letter versus JV. And to be honest with you, everybody's running varsity at one time or another this year. In fact, most of the meets are just varsity meets. And really, if you complete the season in good standing, in other words, you're showing up practice and you're showing up to the meets, everybody ends up with a varsity award on there. There's really only a couple meets. Really get down to the regional. Can only run the top 7 at regional. That's just a state rule there. And then also the one at Portage. Portage is almost a pre-state meet. It's going to be a very, very fast meet, so I may limit that to the top 7 on the boys and the girls side. Every other meet, everybody runs, and whether you're running the varsity or the JV, they're all treated equally there. Oh, let's see. Sportsmanship. Really, I've had cross country. It's kind of unique. Seems like a lot of the athletes know each other and everybody pulls for each other. Many of the coaches in the league I've been coaching with for more years than I care to remember. Some of these athletes train together over the summer, and it's really never, to be honest with you, it's really never been a problem on there. And again, it kind of goes back to that whole idea, show respect for your teammates, yourself, coaches, the officials, and the opponents. I always thought it was interesting. I was watching the World Championships over the last 2 weeks, and this is probably World Championships and Olympics, probably the highest stake track meets in the world. It's always interesting. Everybody wants to beat everybody, and then when they're all done, they're all hugging each other and high-fiving each other and wishing each other, good job. We'll see you later. And that's kind of the name of the sport. Yeah, you got that competitive thing when the gun fires, but once it's over, y'all kind of suffered through the same, in cross country, y'all suffered through the same 3 miles, and there's that camaraderie that everybody really goes through the same type of pain and practice and effort and commitment. Oh, let's see what else on here. Really, that's about it. Again, I said I communicate a lot through email. If you got specific questions, you can ask. I know the question, maybe this year, since we got a few more kids, how do you pick the top 7? Typically, it's pretty much by straight time. I'll start ranking the athletes, and try to get their average place. Now, if it comes down to, especially regional, where if I got, 2 athletes that are really, really close together, maybe for that 6th or 7th spot, and one's been running for 3 years and one's, a fairly new runner, I'll probably go with the one that has been running in the program for 3 years. And that's happened occasionally in the years, especially if it's a senior, if that's their last shot on there. But that's really, it's somewhat segregates itself out through the course of the year. There really isn't too much surprise kind of who's running in the top 7 and who's not. So with that, that's about all I got to say. And just, I guess, roll tide.